Today, we're exploring a topic that has fascinated, confused, and captivated people for decades. UFOs, the secretive MJ-12 group, and the U.S. government's alleged involvement in UFO crash retrievals. Our guide in this journey is the book UFOs, MJ-12, and the Government, a report on government involvement in UFO crash retrievals by Grant Cameron and T. Scott Crain Jr. Buckle up, because we're about to take a journey through declassified documents, eyewitness accounts, and the shadowy world of government cover-ups. Our story begins in the summer of 1987, when the world was introduced to the infamous Majestic 12 document. This document, leaked to the public, claimed to reveal a clandestine group of 12 men, including top U.S. scientists and military officials, who were tasked with covering up the crash of a flying saucer in Roswell, New Mexico, back in 1947. Among those named was Dr. Vannevar Bush, a prominent scientist and alleged member of this secretive cabal. Now, if you're like me, your first thought might be, is this real, or is it just another conspiracy theory? Well, Canadian UFO investigator Grant Cameron certainly thought it was worth investigating. He had spent a decade looking into the work of Canadian scientist Wilbert B. Smith, who had been researching flying saucers since the late 1940s. When Cameron saw Bush's name on the MJ-12 list, he knew he was onto something big. Around the same time, T. Scott Crain Jr., a state section director for the Mutual UFO Network, MUFON, was at the International UFO Symposium in Washington, D.C., where the MJ-12 document was being discussed. He, too, was intrigued by the implications of the document and the possibility that the U.S. government had been hiding the truth about UFOs for decades. Cameron and Crain teamed up with researcher William S. Steinman, author of UFO Crash at Aztec, and began their investigation. They managed to locate an informant who confirmed the existence of MJ-12 and admitted to attending secret meetings at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Through a series of Canadian letters and documents, they uncovered evidence of a deep collaboration between Canada and the United States in examining flying saucer evidence. But let's rewind a bit. The story really kicks off in 1947 with the Roswell incident. On July 8th of that year, the Roswell Daily Record ran a front-page story with the headline, "RAF Captures Flying Saucer on Ranch in Roswell Region." The article stated that the intelligence office of the 509th Bombardment Group had recovered a flying saucer from a ranch near Roswell. The object was inspected at the Roswell Army Airfield and then sent to higher headquarters. The official story was that the object was a misguided weather research balloon, but the MJ-12 document tells a different tale. It claims that a secret operation was launched to recover the wreckage for scientific study. The document also mentions that 4 small, human-like beings were found near the crash site, all of whom were dead and badly decomposed. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. The document states that Operation Majestic 12 was established by President Harry Truman in September 1947, with the purpose of overseeing the recovery and analysis of UFO crashes. The group was said to be directly accountable to the president and operated with the highest level of secrecy. But is the MJ-12 document real, or is it a clever hoax? That's the million-dollar question. Some researchers, like Stanton Friedman, believe the document is authentic, citing small details that suggest legitimacy. Others, like Robert Todd, argue that it's a fabrication, pointing out inconsistencies and the lack of concrete evidence. Their investigation took a fascinating turn when they discovered the story of Dr. Eric A. Walker. Walker was a prominent physicist and former president of Penn State University. He was also a member of the Research and Development Board, which, according to the MJ-12 document, was the group responsible for analyzing UFO crash data. In the 1980s, Walker was contacted by Steinman, who asked him about his knowledge of UFOs and MJ-12. Walker initially denied any involvement, but his responses were cryptic and evasive. For example, he stated that he had attended meetings concerning UFO recoveries, but couldn't remember any substantive conclusions. In a later interview, Walker admitted to knowing about MJ-12 for 40 years, which aligns with the formation of the group as indicated by the MJ-12 document. However, he dismissed the entire matter as something that couldn't be changed and advised Steinman to leave it alone. But perhaps the most revealing part of the story came when Walker responded to a letter from Steinman with a bizarre alien letter. The letter, written inside a circle of Steinman's original letter, contained the words "must reply did code-1." The content of the letter suggested that Walker was familiar with the government's UFO retrieval operations and even claimed that the aliens had been absorbed into American culture. An analysis of the alien letter and other correspondence led them to believe that Walker was deliberately disseminating disinformation to confuse the issue. His actions seemed to indicate a deep involvement in the government's UFO program, but his denials and evasive responses made it difficult to ascertain the truth. As they continued their investigation, they uncovered more connections between Walker, the Institute for Defense Analysis, IDA, and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA. Walker was a trustee of the IDA and later became its chairman. The IDA, in turn, was closely linked to DARPA, which was involved in researching advanced technologies, including those related to UFOs. Their research also led them to the story of the Sierra Madre Turtle Disk Affair, which involved Dr. Luis Walter Alvarez, a physicist and Jason member. Alvarez was part of a scientific expedition that allegedly visited a crashed saucer site in Mexico. Although he refused to confirm or deny his involvement, the incident highlights the possibility that Jason, a group of top physicists, may have been consulted for projects involving UFO technology. In conclusion, while the full truth about UFOs and the government's involvement remains elusive, the evidence they've uncovered suggests that there is more to the story than the official narrative would have people believe. The U.S. government may have indeed initiated a 3-phase plan to handle UFOs, recovery analysis, and duplication of alien technology. As we wrap up this episode, I urge you to keep an open mind and continue exploring the mysteries that surround us. Who knows what other secrets are hidden in the shadows? Thank you for joining me on this journey, and until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep seeking the truth.
This has been a BrightLearn video from BrightLearn.ai on the book UFOs, MJ-12 and the Government, a report on government involvement in UFO crash retrievals by Grant Cameron and T. Scott Crain Jr. Visit BrightLearn.ai for more fascinating videos like this one, and visit naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage and breaking news on critical stories that keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.